G'day, ajmahari here, with yet another comment response. So a person left a comment on a video I did, BPD, quote, apology, unquote, and BPD Hoover, quote, apology, unquote. And I'll try to remember to put that video, along with some others, under this one in the description. So the commenter says, excuse me, they don't say that. Commenter says, I had an apology Hoover. It's a male, by the way. So he says, I had an apology Hoover last week at 1 a.m. from my ex-BPD girlfriend. I ended it with her in December 2023, and then she stalked and hoovered for for the whole entire year of 2024 until I deleted email accounts and changed my phone number. Usually most would take the hint, you'd think, right? Not some people with BPD, unfortunately. The commenter continues, I gotta find my place again, sorry. Sorry for the pause here. Usually most would take the hint at that, but nope, not her. She manages to pop up in Messenger every 2 months or so, now with a, quote, I miss you, and a little, the little emoji with the little tear coming out, unquote. And now she is so sorry for everything and so sorry for it all. No mention exactly, this is key too, no mention of exactly what she's sorry for. Can you relate to that? Are you kind of like trying to accept apologies and you don't know what they're apologizing for, and you don't feel any better, and you still feel just as hurt because maybe you're in a different situation than this person who has been quite a while out of the relationship? Commenter continues, no mention of exactly what she's apologizing for. And would that matter after a while anyways? It shouldn't. I mean, really. Commenter continues, wow, she faked going blind in one eye. Something I'm actually experiencing here. I don't think I'll go totally blind, but yes, it's something going on there. Got to see if we can get it reversed or not. But anyways, back to the video. Back to the commenter. She faked going blind in one eye, fake self-delete attempts, and then faked having, oh my God, terminal cancer before I fully cut her off. I'm so sorry you went through all of that, commenter. Oh my God. Does it ever stop? Says the commenter, understandably. I've not seen her in 1.5 years, and yet she still finds ways to pop up. She's 33 years old. Well, and this is something. And I want to stop you if you're thinking, are you already thinking, oh, geez, I wish my ex would do that? Because you might wish it. You might have the fantasy bond aspect of the trauma bond still in the trauma bond, but you really don't want it. Because this can happen. And what this man is talking about in his experience is not what all people with BPD do or all women with BPD do by any stretch of the imagination, because some of them are going to ghost you, discard you, or there's a breakup of some other kind of iteration type of thing, interaction or lack of or whatever. And they're going to do that, and then you're going to be out of sight, out of mind to them. They're going to move forward. It's a discard. It's a breakup. They're done. You don't exist to them anymore. So there's a lot of people out there, a lot of women out there like that, or men, but women out there who are going to do that, and you'll never hear from them again, whether you're hoping to or not. This poor man probably wishes he was with a borderline like that, so that his ex would be off somewhere, leaving him the heck alone. So I just had to say that. And also, there are some people with BPD that may stalk and hoover for quite a while after. But this man said that he ended it with her in December of 2023. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So now we're talking about, like he said, 1.5 years ago. So the thing is, many times the breakup or the ghosting, discarding, borderline might recontact you, might get into, sorry, there's hair everywhere in here from the dogs, might get into a pattern of hoovering, popping up here and there as the commenter is sick and tired of what's happening for him, understandably. They might get into a pattern of hoovering and or, again, stalking is not what all people, male or female with BPD, do, but many do. And so they could get into that kind of a pattern. And then, a lot of the time, they just finally stop or fade away. And then there's the ones who don't stop, don't fade away. There's ones that, like this one, this person's ex sounds like they are still extremely annoying and popping up and stalking, which is, kind of a big red flag, but they don't sound like they're increasing it, but they just won't stop it. So some will be doing what this commenter described, and it could be a year and a half later, 2 years later, 3 years later. But some people with BPD, with this kind of stalking, popping up, just never letting go, even if they did ghost you or break up, but he says he left her. So that can make it worse in terms of their abandonment and their want for revenge. Or in this case, it sounds like this person, 33 years old with BPD, just can't realize that no matter how, quote, sorry, unquote, for whatever she's sorry for she is, that this commenter doesn't want to hear from her anymore, and sorry ain't going to cut it, which is very healthy on this commenter's part. So just to say that they're all different, but I just wanted to say, and some women and or men with BPD will get into this type of pattern, only it will keep escalating and escalating, and that's a big sorry red flag for how some people with BPD can be exceedingly dangerous. And it's hard to know who's who. It doesn't sound like this person is going to be escalating to being way more dangerous based on what this commenter said, but we can never predict that. Let me just put that in too. But, the commenter's like, does it ever stop? And I guess the only thing I'm wondering about is, and do let me know if you're having or you've had this experience yourself, because it's not it's not the type of experience. It happens a lot, but we don't hear about it a lot. So thank you, commenter, for sharing it, and I'm sorry for what you're going through. And so she stalked and hoovered the whole time in 2024. So it's a year, and then the commenter deleted email accounts and changed the phone number. So, hopefully blocked her on all social media, I hope. That would be also important. And then the commenter is saying she manages to pop up in messages every 2 months or so now with that "I miss you" and the like little crying emoji. And she's so sorry for it all, but, doesn't say what she's really sorry for. And so then the commenter is asking, oh yeah, my question about this is, how does she keep popping up on the internet? Now, I know there's all kinds of different apps out there that I don't know anything about, because other than what I do on social media, I don't like social media very much. Yeah. So anyway, he changed his number and he changed his email accounts. I'm assuming, I hope, and if you haven't, please do, and or anyone that can relate to this, I'm assuming he blocked her on all social media. He might not have with what's going on here, but I don't know. So to the commenter and anyone else can relate, if you haven't blocked him on social media, do that. Do that. It's going to help you too, to not be watching what the heck they're trying to sell out there about life is spectacular now. Maybe not this particular person with BP or people like her that continue to go back to an ex and unwantingly and popping up. So when the commenter says she manages to, in Messenger, she manages to pop up every 2 months or so. So has the commenter blocked her on Messenger? Is there a problem blocking people on Messenger? I don't know, because I don't use Messenger. I think I have it there, but if I go to it, it's got probably gazillions. I'm exaggerating, but a high number of never-ending people trying to reach me on the side. You know what I mean? I can only work with people in sessions. There's not enough hours of the day for me to just read emails and answer back or answer Messenger questions. So I don't know. I think I block people on Messenger, but I don't use Messenger. So is it hard to block people on Messenger, or is this something that the commenter could do? And maybe if you're still hearing from borderline that you don't want to hear from anymore, it's not really helping you to heal to hear from anymore. are they blocked on the app or not? And if that doesn't work, then what do you do? I don't know. But I would think at the point that this commenter's at, with a year and a half of her popping up on Messenger, I wonder if she pops up on any other app. Commenter doesn't say. Okay, so is there something about Messenger you can't block? Because if you block, I know Facebook and Messenger maybe, oh, never mind my ignorance here. Facebook and Messenger might not be exactly together the way they used to be or something. I think I heard somewhere. Little bird whispered, no, somebody I was talking to. But bottom line is, so why can't she be blocked on Messenger? That would be my first response. And maybe, like I said, I don't know enough about it. And I guess if she can't be blocked on Messenger for some reason, then I would say, as much as you shouldn't have to do this, commenter or anybody that can relate, it's probably time to really change your social media handles and, I don't know, preserve your content if you can and start over. Because really, if you can block her on Messenger, okay, she should be blocked on Messenger. Because if that's the case, that she could be blocked on Messenger, but this person hasn't blocked her on Messenger, he sounds really fed up, but is he somehow still reading the situation, which wouldn't be healthy? I don't know. And if I'm wrong about that, I apologize, commenter, in advance. So the other thing is, like, on all these apps out there, so Messenger and other apps, you're going to have to block them all. And if there are apps out there that you can't block them on for some reason, because I don't pretend, to know, like, all of the latest, like, I've heard something, is it called Yik Yak or something? What is that? I don't even do TikTok. I don't do Instagram. I don't do Pinterest. I used to have, like, an account, like, way back when they started. I don't know what they're all about now. And then this thing called Yik Yak. I don't even know what it is. But probably like most social media, the word yick, ick, yuck, not good, it probably fits somehow. I'm sure that's not what it means. But then there's all these other apps. I have clients mention apps sometimes, and I'm like, not that I make a big deal out of it, but I might ask about, how does the app work? Can you block them? Because, and it's like, oh, no. And they'll say, have you heard of it? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And then, of course, there's WhatsApp and all kinds of things. And I don't know, do regular people use Signal and things where things disappear and whatnot? So the bottom line is, you have to ask yourself if you're leaving any door open. So the commenter said he changed his email accounts, changed his phone number. So it seems to follow that he likely blocked social media, or is he leaving Messenger open for some other reason? But yet he's fed up and he says, does it ever stop? So I don't know. Let me know down below if you can relate to the commenter, if you're being stalked or they're popping in on you somewhere on an app. And is that because you can't block them, or is it because you just don't want to absolutely kind of not be able to still see what they're up to? Because I don't know what the case is with this commenter. So I would say, commenter, when you say, does it ever stop? Firstly, you have to have her blocked. And if you can't block on some app, and they're not going away, then yes, you're going to have to go to all the trouble to change username on social media, on apps, and some people can't do that because of work and a whole lot of content. But that would be the next thing, if you absolutely, like, you do deserve to have relief from this person popping up with this, like, apology, non-apology about something and missing you for a year and a half now. So I kind of think it might be impossible that the commenter would have blocked email accounts and phone number and not block Messenger, if it's possible. So I don't really know. But the other part of this I do want to talk about. So you should be blocking all social media, doing whatever you need to do, whether that's changing handles, usernames, deleting accounts off social media. You got to do whatever it takes. Changing your phone number, changing email accounts, everything, and blocking them everywhere. And if there's somewhere you can't block them, then you need to do something about deleting your account and starting over if you can. The other thing is, to the extent that this person has made contact, unwanted contact over all this period of time, so for this commenter, it's been a year and a half. What I would recommend to the commenter, if in fact it's not that he hasn't done some blocking he needs to do, is to report this to the police. A year and a half later is going to be a little difficult, but then again, she's still doing it. It's unwanted contact, and the commenter was right to say at the beginning of the comment, that she's been stalking him for a year and a half. Stalking is not legal activity. Stalking can, for some people with BPD, male or female, escalate and mean that they are very, very dangerous to you. Not all, not necessarily this 33-year-old. So it's important if you're being, and it's hard for people when they're still not sure if they want the Hoover. You might be sure you're not, or pretty sure you're not, you're done with them and you don't want them back, but you still kind of want to know what's going on, and because you haven't worked through breaking the trauma bond yet. But what I recommend people do if they're being stalked in any way, shape, or form, online, etc., if you let them know, or you let them know at some point, don't recontact them to say this, though, if you're no contact, it's unwanted contact, then you need to call the police. So, because some people are not only dealing with stalking, like this kind of popping in thing and stuff, or more dangerous potentially stalking over periods of time, like a year and a half or more. People are dealing with people, BPD, male or female, that are stalking them at home, stalking them at work, showing up at their home, showing up at their work. So more than just online, but whether it's only online or it's in real life, or they're popping up at the grocery store where you go, you try changing grocery stores, they pop up again. They're stalking or following you in real life, or they're stalking or following you on an app because you can't block them. Or somebody please let me know if you can block somebody on Messenger. I do need to know that for like anything in the future like this. But so yeah, calling the police is really the way to get it to stop, commenter. And if you can block her on that app and you haven't, you need to. And if you can't, you need to consider deleting your account, which would be, I know, really inconvenient and probably like really hard to do. And or call the police. And you should have called the police, or would have been best to have called the police a long time ago. Because there are people with BPD, female or male, that get into stalking patterns. This one sounds very annoying, but not particularly super dangerous, but I can't predict that. Many that can escalate and, like I said, start showing up where you work, where you go to school, where you live, at friends' places, calling friends, any of this kind of behavior, calling your friends and family with smear campaign stuff, or for any reason. You can call the police about this, and you need to hold them accountable. You need to hold them responsible, even if you still got feelings for them and you just barely, the relationship is sort of ended and you don't know where you're at. Don't let them do this to you. They can escalate. It can be really dangerous. Not going to help you heal. And call the police, because patterns of stalking, unwanted contact is stalking. And I know where I live, it's called criminal harassment. It includes stalking and or any harassment and unwanted contact. And by the way, calling your family, calling your work, calling your buddies, calling your friends, calling siblings, anybody, that also fits under this stalking and or harassment, which where I live in Canada is called criminal harassment, might be called something else where you live. But look into the stalking laws. And to the commenter, if you can't block people on Messenger, you need to delete your account. You need to report this person to the police, unless you're entertaining how she pops up. But you said, does it ever stop? Sounds like, so there's one of two possibilities. This is still happening and you could block it or delete your account and stop it, but you're still somehow interested in what's going on, even though you're fed up. And you might be asking, does it ever stop? Like, will she ever stop on her own? And you might be leaving a door open. I don't know. I could be very wrong about that. That's one scenario. The other scenario is you can't block her on Messenger. You need to delete your account so she can't contact you. And you likely should report this to police in case of any escalation. It's not, it's a sign of potential danger. And you shouldn't be hearing from this person in an unwanted way once a month or twice a year or ever again. So often people are going to have to take that to the police, whether it's only online or whether it's also, and especially when it's also in real life. And I wish I didn't spend so much time going on about, I don't know if you can block people on Messenger or not. But please, somebody let me know that. Maybe the commenter sees this, because there's two ways to take this. Like I said, I'll just reiterate. He sounds really fed up. Does it ever stop? And then gives us her age. Well, 33, that doesn't really mean anything if she can't stop what she's doing, and she's still got limerence or infatuation otherwise for you, and she thinks you're going to break down sooner or later and take her back or talk to her again. And it's really that, in a sense, why does she keep this up like this in a patterned way that doesn't escalate? Is likely because that lack of object constancy, when you're with them, they kind of unknowingly park object or part object constancy with you, so that you are like the anchor, the parent figure anchor of their quote, trying to seek identity and safety. And this commenter's ex might still have that projected onto him a year and a half later, might be what's motivating what she's doing. But in a lot of cases where it doesn't stop and they don't stop, it could be a big red flag for much more danger. And this doesn't seem like it, but I can't say 100% it's not. And I couldn't tell you that the person, your ex who's maybe banging on your back door right now, or on and off at your house, at your work, calling your family, you got to call the police about that. You have to report the unwanted contact, the harassment, the stalking, because there are, a significant percentage of people with BPD that have these patterns, male or female, that they won't be able to stop. And the more risky it seems, or if it's escalating, the more you need to call the police, because the only thing that will stop is when you get that restraining order. And then when they keep coming around and violating it, you call police, and then they get arrested, and then they have to go to court. And the other maybe bonus, if you're like doing this, people feel guilty, but you need to do it to protect yourself. And you need to not enable them to continue to stalk you, harass you, or call your friends or your family. It's against the law. They need to be held accountable, and you need to hold them accountable without feeling guilty about taking care of yourself and or your family and or dealing with a smear campaign. And so the other aspect of this is, sometimes when you get that restraining order, whatever it's called, wherever you live, when you get that and then you got to call because they keep it up and they're getting arrested, don't you feel bad? This is what they're doing. You can't stop them. You can't rescue them. You can't change them, especially like when they're exes and it's a long time. You need to know this, right? Remember this. And even when you feel guilty and it feels horrible and you don't want to do it, you're not doing it. People say, I don't want to do it to him or her. You're not doing it to them. They're doing it to themselves. And you're still trying to rescue them when they're committing a crime against you? No, you need to call the police. And the other thing is, so then they're going to get arrested, because this is the only thing that stops some people with BPD from stalking and or escalating and or being really dangerous with that. And the thing is, so when you have to call the police and you have to document it and do it, even if you're feeling horrible about it, you need to take care of you. And they're not making you do it. You're not doing it to them. They're abusing you. And when you do that and you get the restraining order and you call enough times because they don't stop, some of them have to be arrested. Some of them, then when they're arrested, they might get remanded to counseling, which may or may not help at all, right? But at least it's something. And then if they don't stop, or that happens, and then they stalk more and harass more and call up your friends or your family more, and then you keep reporting that to the police, they're going to end up having to go to jail. And I hate to say this, but there are just some people out there, whether they're diagnosed or not, but untreated with borderline personality or the patterns of, that are not going to be able to stop it. And where that often goes, not often, but a certain percentage of time that matters, it can be the biggest red flag for if they're escalating and they can't stop, that it's getting more and more dangerous, because males and females with borderline personality who fit these stalking patterns that are escalating, and especially in real life, but even on social media, they're dangerous. And in some cases, they unalive people. And this is not a high percentage of people with the patterns of BPD or diagnosed untreated, but it's a percentage nonetheless. So remember, if you have to get a restraining order, if you have to call the police, you're not doing it to them. I've had so many clients say, I'd feel so bad if I was doing it. I don't want to do that to them. No, think about what they're doing to you and how you need to take care of you.